Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to another episode on the Virtual Shelling Network. It is a beautiful morning here at Lighthouse Point on Sanibel, and I thought I would come down to the beach today and see what we can find. I'm not really sure what the beach has in store today. You can see we have kind of a nice rack line here of some beach bling, and then the tide is rather high right now. So I think we only have two tides today. We have a high tide, and then I think the low tide is later this evening. So I always tell people, you know, low tide is a great time to come to the beach. More of the beach is going to be uncovered. Usually the water is going to be a little bit more calm. But I always say the best time to go to the beach is whenever you can get there. So now is when I'm able to come, and this is where we're at, and the tide is a little high, and that is okay. So I just wanted to check out here. It's the morning time, and sometimes there is a little dolphin action going on. So I was just gonna check and see if we see any splashes or fins. So I will keep my eye out there. I know that you guys like to see the dolphins. I grew up down here in Southwest Florida, and I never get tired of seeing dolphins. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like seeing a bald eagle. Even if you live in an area where they're pretty common sight, it never gets old to see them. So I will keep my eyes open to see if we can see some wildlife out there. In the meantime, I wanted to show you guys the water's so clear. So I had a couple people ask me about the clarity of the water. There are a couple factors that contribute to water clarity down here. One of them is going to be obviously the clarity of the water itself. You guys can see some fish here swimming. There's going to be times that it's going to be more murky. It's going to not be as clear due to the actual water and due to waves and sand. So if it was really wavy and there's a lot of rocking and rolling with the sand, it's going to be cloudy and it's going to cloud up the water. So it's not super wavy right now. And the water has been very clear. It's been very clean. You guys can see all the little fish. The other thing is the sun. So the angle of the sun can really affect how you can see visibly down into the water. Right now, this is perfect. It is the morning, and there is the sun, and the angle of the sun is fantastic for being able to see right down to the bottom. Now it is a little bit wavy. You guys can see that it's not perfectly glass. So it does kind of give a little bit of ripple. It is easier to see in person than on camera. So I do apologize for that, but I did just want to give you guys a quick little peek so you guys can see the water clarity, so you can get an idea of what you would see if you were out here. There are some people down there that are, in the water and snorkeling. So this is a great time to do that you would be able to really have great visibility in the water and be able to see colors. Let's see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that little, just a piece of a shell right here, but it's kind of like an orange color. You'll be able to see those colors really well in the water too. So my favorite place to shell is the break line. It is just a tiny little bit wavy today, but you can still see some good clarity here. And we'll see. Let me just roll my sleeve up. Let's see. So I can see a little olive. The shell bag's falling down here. Get it cross body so it's not dangling down. And I can see a little olive rolling right here. This is also a really good place to find your minis, your little mini shells. Look at that perfect little olive. And also your little tiny treasures too. You can see as it gets a little bit more wavy, as the tide's probably coming in, you can see the visibility is not as good due to all of the sand being kicked up. So it's not that the water isn't clear, it's just the sand is making, the waves in the sand are making it just a little bit tricky to see. But the break line's full of really awesome shells. You just kind of have to have a really good eye and be able to have a quick grab if you see something. But I wanted to just show you real quick what the break line looks like. And this is where I personally love to shell. I do wish the water was just a little bit more calm. There's a little coquina here floating. Look how cute. Perfect. A little pink butterfly. And this is another reason low tide is so great too, because a lot of this will be uncovered at low tide and you won't have all of these waves kicking up all of the sand and the seaweed and everything kind of getting in your way. And here looks like a good little spot. There's a lot of things that are rolling here. I saw a little auger. Let's see if I can find it again. Little auger here. And I thought I saw a little shark eye too. Sometimes your eye will just catch something real quick. There's a little shark eye. Look at that. Ooh, and there's a little whelk too, but it was little, it's tiny. Let's see if I can find it. See if you guys can see it. I know it's hard to see on camera, but some of you guys spot some pretty cool things. That's why it's called virtual shelling. So you guys can sometimes find some things that I don't even see. But this right here, this is a great place. All the minis and tinies are right here. They're all right here. They're hard to see. The water is moving. And if you can see here, this is all those black coffee grounds. Wait till the sand settles a little bit, but you'll be able to see right here all of those black coffee grounds. Can you guys see them? So this is where your Wentel traps are gonna be in here. Let's see if I can maybe grab a handful of stuff. Pull my sleeve up. So let's see if I can grab a handful of stuff and see if we have anything in here. Sometimes that's a good little way to, oh, there's a little kitten paw. You see this little kitten paw right here? Oh, it might be alive. This one right here. I don't see anything in there. Let's grab another handful here. Oh. Kind of shake out some of the sand. See if we get anything fun. Ooh, there's a little button shell. Here's a little seraph right here. There's a little bubble shell. Let me see if I can get that little button shell. Do you guys see it? Uh-oh, where did it go? Let me come up here. Let's see if I can find it. I hope I didn't drop it. It was so cute. Oh, here it is. Look how cute this little button shell is. Look how cute. It's a tiny little button shell. Lighthouse is such a great place for teeny tiny shells, so we are gonna go on a hunt for the perfect place. And you guys can see I really don't see any more of those coffee grounds or coffee grinds, so we're just gonna keep walking. I really don't see a whole lot on the beach here that would give me an indication of a really good tiny spot, so we are just going to keep on walking. Okay guys, so all of a sudden here you guys start to see some like seaweed and stuff. So over here we didn't really have anything, and then all of a sudden we start to see some seaweed and some dark stuff, and you guys can see kind of the black coffee grounds floating in the water. So this is going to be where the teeny tiny activity begins. Unfortunately, this is also where it gets really wavy as we're getting really close to Lighthouse here around the corner. And if you guys can kind of see in the break line, you can see there's a lot of like little shells and stuff here. And this is where it's all going to be at, but it's just a little bit rough to be able to see. It looks like this might be a little, I missed it, a little bubble shell. Oh, I missed it. Now I don't know if I'll be able to find it again. But this is going to be a really great place at low tide when all of this recedes and this is all uncovered, to find all of your little shells that we are seeking out. Now, here's the trick, right? So you come here and you're like, great, Laura, it's too wavy and you can't see and the waves are too strong and you don't have a scooper, so what do? You just keep walking and you're gonna see when the waves come in, it's gonna start to form like a little shell shelf here. Do you see it? And you're gonna keep walking until you start to see those little coffee grounds. Here's a really pretty coquina. Look at this purple coquina right here. That's so pretty. You're gonna continue walking until you start to see these little coffee grounds. Can you guys see them? You gotta kind of train your eye to see them. You see how the waves are coming up here, and it's gonna start to form a little rack line of those coffee grounds, and this is going to be where you are going to find your mini tiny shells. There's a little rice olive right here. Oh, let me grab it before the tide comes in. There's a little rice olive here. So now you guys should be able to really see the stuff coming in. And this is actually a great time. I mean, I know people like low tide, but you can just sit here and let it bring the shells to you, right? So this is gonna be where all the little minis and the little tinies. Here's a little bubble shell. Bubble shells are also a good indication that you're gonna have some mini tiny activity. And this is gonna be where we're gonna find a lot of little tiny treasures. Now, if you're going to be looking for little tiny treasures, you're going to need a shell bag for your tinies. I cannot tell you how many times I have people tell me that they finally found a lentil trap, and then they have a cheap mesh shell bag, like laundry bag from Amazon for $5, and their little baby rice olive or their little baby lentil trap will go right through those holes, and you're gonna lose it. You waited 10 years to find one, you finally found one, and now you're gonna put it in your bag and it's gonna be gone. Make sure that you have a bag that has fine mesh that your tinies are not going to get through. If you need a good shell bag, I do sell them on my website. They are handmade here in the USA. They will last you forever, and they will keep all of your teeny treasures safe. Now, do you guys see the big lentil trap sitting right there? Give you guys a chance to see it. Right here, look at that, big and beautiful. This is what everybody wants to find. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people I know, most shellers want to find beautiful lentil traps when you come to the beach. And this is how to do it. Look for those coffee grounds, look for those bubble shells. You have to walk. If you're not finding what you want to find in the spot you're at, you're gonna have to walk a little bit. You're gonna have to do a little seeking. If you are fishing on a boat and the fish aren't biting, you might have to go to another spot, right? So here's some more of those black specks. And here's another little bubble shell. Bubble shells are very fragile, but I love to collect them. They're another pretty common shell that is overlooked, but they're really fun. They're really fun for crafting projects. Get down here so you guys can see. Here's a little seraph, a little barnacle. Here. Another little bubble shell. Oh, and here's a little operculum right here. Little operculum, little trapdoor. So the waves are coming in and forming this little rack line right here. And that is where the little coffee grounds are. I just want you guys to be able to see what to look for and how tiny of shells you want to pick up and look for. I mean, this one has a little hole in it, but this looks like a little, either a little bittersweet or a little cockle. I actually think that might be a little baby bittersweet there, super cute. But how tiny of shells you want to look for really depends on how well you can see, for one, and just your personal preference of little seashells. Here's a little NASA seaweed here. Super cute, pretty. And this little barnacle cluster. You guys know I love the little barnacle clusters. They're so cute. Little slipper shell here, little bubble shell here. Let's see what you guys can see. I just brought in some more stuff for us. Little pretty little jingle shell. Nice and shiny. Look how cute. Here's a little mussel shell still intact. Got some seaweed stuck onto it. Look how cute. And we've got a little spiny slipper shell here. A little baby jingle shell here. Another jingle shell here. So I'm just gonna kind of get down low here so you guys can see all these little shells. There's a little piece of a black jingle shell. A little teeny slipper right here. Look how cute. There's a little orange jingle. It's really cute too. Oh, and there's a limpet. Do you guys see the limpet? Right here next to this bubble shell. Also called a hat because they look like a little sombrero. A little hat shell. Here's another bubble shell. And the hard thing about tinies is literally seeing them. They're just so, you know, tiny. So you've got to have good eyeballs. Got to get your readers on. If you've got glasses, if you need glasses to read, you're probably going to need glasses to shell for tinies. Maybe not so much the minis, but the tinies are sometimes really hard to see. Here's another little barnacle cluster right here. Here's a little bubble shell. It's a cute little piece of driftwood too. I love picking up the little pieces of driftwood. Lots of little slipper shells too, which are fun. Oh, here's another little limpet over here. Let's see if you guys can spot it. I don't want to take my eye off it because if I do, I'll probably never see it again. You guys see it right in the middle there? Super tiny. Look how cute. Oh, and here's a little whelk hiding, a little lightning whelk. Oh, and we just had a wave come in. Let the water settle for a minute, and it just brought us in a Wentel trap. Do you guys see it? Give you guys a minute, see if you can see it. Right here. Look how pretty. So don't worry. If you get out here, you get to the beach, and this is your beach time, and it's high tide, and you're like, oh my gosh, and all of the tinies are in here with all of the coffee grounds and all of the bubble shells, and you're like, I can't see anything, and it's too wavy. Yes, you can take a scooper, but it's just hard because you're going to be going through a lot of sand, and it's hard to sift it because some of the tinies are so small. But just sit here and let the waves bring in some shells for you. That literally just rolled right in front of me as the waves bring in some shells. Ooh, and look at this. Is this a little gaudy? Oh, it is. Look how cute. Oh, there's two of them. Uh-oh, hang on. I'm gonna grab these before the... Oh, and look, look, look. Look, so I grabbed a gaudy. I'm gonna keep my hand here so the waves don't get it. Here's the little shark eye, and then right next to it, I want to grab these so the waves don't take them away. The waves bringeth and taketh away, just like that. You see that? So we got a little gaudy here, and then we've got a little shark eye. So very similar shells, different pattern, and then we've got a beautiful, another beautiful little. I shouldn't say little. These are pretty big lentil traps, really. But this is what I'm doing, guys. I haven't moved. I'm just sitting here. Look at the little spotted slipper. Super cute. So I'm literally just, I'm not really sitting, I'm stooping. But you see how the waves just brought up some more goodies? The water will come up, it'll uncover some stuff, it'll bring some stuff. You really don't have to move very much. I just saw another cute shell, and I think it either just moved it up or took it away. Let's see. It looked like maybe a little drill. Did anyone else see it? Oh, here's another little baby rice olive right here. Little teeny. I love those little rice olives. They're literally like the size of a grain of rice, which is why they're called that. All right, well, I don't know what happened to those little murex, or a little drill. It was really small. But just really fun sitting here as the tide comes in and brings in, ooh, here's a little auger, some really cool little baby shells. And if you're wanting the micro tinies, guys, this little rack line up here is usually where you're gonna go to find the teeny tiny little like micro. Okay, like here, this little guy right here. Let me try to zoom in. This one right here. Those are the micro tiny. So if you're a micro tiny sheller and these are the little tiny micro shells that you're wanting, that's where you're gonna find those. And these also will not go out of your shell bag if you buy a shell bag from me. You will get them home safely too. I just toss them right in there. I don't worry about other containers or any of that. I don't worry about any of that. So this one is alive, I think. Yep, this one's alive. You can see these all together. So we'll put them back in the water. And then here's a little purple rice olive. I love these. Look how cute. You guys see a little purple tip there? So fun. Let's come over here and see what the waves are bringing in. Here's another lentil right here. We grab it before the waves. The waves are either going to push it in further or take it away, and you never really know. Ooh, and there's a little drill too. Fun. Woo. But hopefully you guys see what I mean. Oh gosh, I can't see. Is this a little dove snail maybe? Listen guys, when you're in the bright sun and you're getting old, it gets really hard to see these shells sometimes. Shelling's supposed to keep you young, but I don't know. My back and my eyes, my back and my eyes beg to differ these days. see what we can see here. Oh, let me get down. I'm just gonna hold the phone down here so you guys can see some things. And I'll show you down here too, all this stuff is where it's all coming from. It's all coming from here. It's all coming from here. Let me see if I can grab a handful of stuff. Oops, my shell bag's in the way. Let's see if I can grab a handful of stuff. And bring it up here and kind of put it to where we can sift through it with the water. There's a little serif right here. So when in doubt, I mean, that's an option for you too. You know, just come down and grab handfuls of shells, but here's a tiny little, here's a, hold on, let me grab these all out of here before the waves come in. So we've got a little big auger and a tiny auger right there. Put those in our shell bag so they don't get lost. And then we've got a little slipper snail and nice size drill, sharper drill there. And the water just kind of helps sift through a little bit, sift through the sand, and it kind of brings the shells to the top. And a cute little coral piece. Look at that. Little bubble, another little bubble. Oops, I dropped it. Oops, and the wave just took it away. Ooh, here we go, guys. Here's a wintle here. Here's one here. We're rolling on in. There's a little rice olive here. And guys, a lot of people ask me, I don't really worry about rinsing my shells. I don't want to risk dropping them. I put them right into my shell bag and then I rinse my whole bag before I go. So all the sand will come out of my bag and I don't have to worry about losing any of my tiny treasures. So my advice to you is to just throw your shells in your bag, sand and all. Even if there's like other little broken shells or sandy pieces stuck to it or seaweed or whatever, just throw it on in there. So that way you don't risk accidentally having, you know, a wave or the water sweep it out of your hand and then you just lost your shell. Ooh, here's a cute little whelk and a cute little serif. Look how cute. Bring me some more shells. Cute little piece of driftwood. A little wormy, little worm shell. There's a little piece of a shark eye, a little broken one here. another lentil and a drill. A lot of times you'll find these shells get kind of caught in the seaweed. Here's a cool little piece of driftwood. Look at that. That's really fun. Ooh, and there's a little top. Grab it. A little top snail, top shell. Ooh. I almost lost the phone there. This is another little lentil here. A little dove snail shell here, I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Ooh, over here is a little button. Woo! Here comes the waves. That means here comes the shells. This little whelk that just rolled in. A little tumbled there. The bugs are getting me today. We're getting close to these trees and mangrove areas, and the bugs tend to be pretty bad around Lighthouse. The little no-see-ums. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the one on my arm here. Oh no, he's still there. I don't know if you guys will be able to see him. I'll try to circle them, but they're super tiny, but they bite. And I have yet to find a repellent that actually works for me. Some people say that Skin So Soft works. I've not had it work for me. The only thing I can tell you is I do have a relief product that is the best I've ever found. I have used it for about 30 years. I've sold it for about over 15 now. And I will link that as well for you all, so you guys will have a link to at least some relief if you also are like me and can't find a repellent that really does the job to keep those pesky little buggers away. Little button here. And this little sea tree is really cute too. It's got a little empty mussel attached. And that's really cute. Oh, it's getting hard to see out here. It's so bright. All right, guys, I just went through this little pile here, and I found two things I want to show you guys. And I'm gonna come up to where it's shady because I can't see my phone anymore. It's just so bright, and I need to be able to see my phone. Okay, let me kind of bring these into the sun. Okay, there you go. First of all, look at this tiny baby turkey wing. Do you guys see how cute? Let me try to zoom in so you guys can see, because it's so small and cute. Okay. And then I want to show you this lentil trap. So some people ask me, well, how do you know the tinies aren't alive? If you are checking your shells, most of the time you should be able to know if they're alive. This lentil, you guys can see the tiny little operculum. This little guy is alive. So if they're not alive, they will be empty. You will not be able to see anything inside of that aperture. So this little guy, let me try to zoom in a little more so you guys can see. There's a little yellow operculum and then kind of like that black little dot. So it's kind of hard to tell, but if you're checking your shells, you guys will be able to tell that that shell is alive. Okay, so that lentil is alive and is going back. Alrighty, so I just wanted to show you that because it's not often that we find the tinies alive, because a lot of times they just don't make it. One of the reasons that they're up on the beach is because they got caught in strong waves, they got washed up, they don't make it on the beach as long as their adult family members. A lot of times the larger shells, and they do dry out quickly I don't mean within minutes, but you know, they don't last through multiple tides like some of the larger conchs can. So this little guy's alive. We're gonna go put him back, and then we're gonna keep this super cute little turkey wing. How cute is that? All right, we just had a little wave come up here. Let's go through some of this stuff here. Oh, here's a little NASA. I love all of these little shells. Ooh, there's another lentil right here. So you guys can see this one is empty. You guys see that? There's nothing in there. So if you're checking your shells, you still should be able to see whether or not. Oh, here's another little lentil. Oh, here's another one. This is a good little spot. You guys should be able to see that they're not alive, okay? So, and I always kind of check too. Do you guys see how this one has like this dark spot in there? If the whole shell is dark, you want to check to make sure there's not a little hermit crab in there. So I do also check my shells carefully. Now, I don't live far from the beach, so if I do get a little hitchhiker when I get home, which has happened before, it's very easy for me to just run them back to the beach. But if you don't live local and you're traveling, I suggest before you leave, either at your condo or even in the car, you know, check your shells really well. Make sure nothing's moving in your shell bag. Make sure there's no little crab hitchhikers, because listen, like even as many times as we check, sometimes they're really good at hiding. Look at that teeny tiny little shell right there. Oh my goodness. You can barely pick it up, it's so small. So even as much as we try to check, sometimes we can still miss a little hitchhiker. And then that way, you know, you can still have time to run them back to the beach. Let's see if we can see anything else in this little pile. We need another wave to sift through all this stuff. And I'll show you guys another tip too, if you don't have a sifter, which I'm not a huge fan of sifting. So if you guys don't have a scooper, you guys see all this stuff? When the waves go back, do you see how they're pushing them in and then they go back? And then they're pushing them out and then they come back. When it comes back, you're gonna scoop it all up and throw it up on the beach with your hand. So when it's back, so right now it's forward, okay, wait till it's back, right here, and then you're gonna scoop a bunch of that up and throw it up there, okay? Wait till it comes back. Here, it's coming back, and then I'm gonna scoop it up and throw it up there with a little water, okay? And then you can kind of go through and see. I kind of throw a little water up there to sift through the sand, and you can see if there's any fun little shells. Here's a good example of a little drill. Now there's just a shell in there, right? There's no critter, just a little shell. But I still check, always still check your shells to make sure there's nothing alive in there. Here's a little lentil here. Oops, got one piece of seaweed there on there. Try to rinse them off without losing him. There we go. So you guys can see there's no critter in there. So let me get a couple more piles up here for you guys. Okay, I might have thrown them up a little too high for the waves to come in and sift through. We'll see. We'll see. Here's a cute little, ooh, maybe not. There we go. Here's a cute little coquina. So I try to throw them up high enough that the one wave isn't going to take all of it at the same time, right? So I have time to go through. But you kind of got to look quickly, because once those waves start coming up, here's a lentil right here. Here's a tiny little auger right here. Check them both. And this auger has a occupant. I know it's really hard to see, and I cannot see my phone to save my life right now. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Hopefully it stays focused. But there's an operculum, so we're gonna put him back. You guys can see that maybe, I don't know. And when in doubt, throw them back, because they're tinies and you'll find more, I promise. So anytime I'm not sure, kind of like with starfish, if there's a starfish and I'm like totally unsure if there's a chance that it might be alive, like this little guy is alive too, this little NASA. I know his little operculum's hard to see, but one of the things is like when I rinse him out, nothing's coming out of there. All right, so he's alive too, which is good. That's fine. We want shells to be alive. That means they're doing well and they're breeding. This one is not alive, but you can see there's shells jammed up in there. I'm hoping I'm staying in focus, guys, because the sun is like right overhead instead of to the side now, and it makes it very hard to see this screen on my camera. Just spread some of this out a little bit so we can see if there's anything else in here. And when the waves come up, it'll sift through some of the sand. There's another little auger. Ooh, there's a tiny little whelk here too. Oh, and a little conch. A little whelk and a little conch. See if you guys see anything. It's a little NASA. And this is just, 2 or 3 handfuls that I threw up here to look through. So, and we found quite a few little shells in here. Look how cute. So I'll show you guys this shell. This is, a lot of times people will find these and think they're Wentel traps. And speaking of Wentel traps, here's a teeny tiny one. But they're not. They're actually speckled serifs. They're a little bit different. They usually have these specks, which is why they're called speckled, these little brown specks. And they're a little bit more textured and less lacy and less white than your Wentel traps. So a lot of times I see people in shell groups asking if they finally found their first Wentel trap, and unfortunately it sometimes ends up being a speckled serif. So they're oftentimes a little bit bigger than a Wentel as well. Usually a large Wentel trap will be about the same size. They're still a fun shell to find, but they're just not the same as the Wentel trap. All right, guys, I hope you had so much fun today shelling with me here at Lighthouse, right in front of beautiful Lighthouse on Sanibel. And I'm going to zoom in so hopefully you guys can see osprey that is sitting up there on top of the lighthouse. You guys can see. It is just a beautiful morning here. Lovely water, lovely day. Sanibel is just a magical place. And I'm glad I can share it with you wherever you are. So thank you again for being members of the Virtual Shelling Network and for subscribing. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me directly at virtualshelling@gmail.com. Thanks so much. I wish you a shell-tastic day.